If you could have everything you ever wanted, what would you be willing to sacrifice? Now, here's a question for you. If you could be given the opportunity to accomplish everything you wanted, your goals, your aspiration, your legacy, in fact, be it the billionaire, the best footballer, whatever it is you wanted, but it will come at a cost. You will be willing to either give up your most precious thing, or it could be nothing at all. Yeah. So it's like a 50-50 gamble. And in that scenario, would you choose it?
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
For you to even be having that thought, or even be actively thinking about whether you would choose it, would you be regarded as an evil person? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're here to talk about today. Just for clarification, the subject that we're talking about is on evil based upon choice. That's what we're really going towards. And it's not the unnecessary evil, which is the old cartoon or monstrous evils where they just want to destroy the world because of unnecessary thing, or rather, they just want to destroy it because they had no choice, in fact. It's a normal trope in every single cartoons or normal movies we watch where the bad guy and the good guys and like, we got to stop them. No. I'm talking about that choice. Those evil individuals that had the very clear, understandable reason, and they had every chance to not do it. They were even given the opportunity to like let what they are doing go and actually start anew, but no, they chose it because they wanted it. That's the evil I'm talking about here, choice. And the second thing on that is unrelatability, because in whether you like it or not, every single one of us inherits such. We have it in us. We just choose not to. And the fact that it's relatable is what makes it such humane, because we are all born with that. We just choose not to always do it.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
We're classifying this subject matter into 4 categories, or I could say 4 archetypes: the business-minded, the psychopaths, the imbalance, and the chaotic. These are the 4 at which we are going to center upon and analyze, so that at least we understand exactly how well and relatable each one of these evils are. To also buttress this once again, I'm going to use fictional characters, okay? I'm not going to use real life characters because like already those will be another topic for another day. But what I'm trying to use is in the world of fiction and how relatable they are to each one of us. Our first character will be Don Quixote Doflamingo. He is regarded as what you call transactional evil in this sense, in the business model. Doflamingo was born into nobility, and as well, he had everything he wanted, but unfortunately lost it all due to his idealistic father, who drank their status from high rank to come down to the normal human beings and then decided to live with them. And unfortunately, well, what transpired was that they caught them and he was tortured and he lost his mother. And at that point in time, his decision was already made clear that this world is true and only those with power are those that rule. His goals were never random destructions. They were controlled. It was very, very strategic if you look at it. He went to rule kingdoms, took over kingdoms rather, in fact, convinced the people there that he came to help them. But in reality, what he did was that he manipulated everybody there and then started making a manufactured industry within that kingdom, which he made smile. And smile was a fruit which people wanted in order to gain power as well. And because of that, and the fact that I knew that the people wanted that in the black market, he sold it at the highest bidder. You see, that's the interesting part about Doflamingo. He doesn't want to just destroy people randomly or this type of thing. No, he wants to have an organization where it controls everything in a systematic order. People can be living their everyday lives if they want to. He doesn't mind that. As long as people do his bidding and does whatever he wants to. Does it on his own terms. Pays the people he wants to pay fairly. And he understands how things are meant to be done. He more or less ran chaos like a corporation. So let's break down his philosophy. The strong rules, the weak fall. That is his origin in terms of how he looks at the world. He views morals as a constructive invention made by the people in power to put a leash on the weak. People who served him were assets, and those who went against him became liabilities which he could make dispose of, even his own brother. Because the thing about it is that how Doflamingo sees things, he views it as assets and liabilities at the end of the day, even if family is involved. He didn't enjoy cruelty. He enjoyed results. And unfortunately, that was his own view on how he sees things. He had power, influence, and as well as a choice to have, at least if he had all those things, to change. But he chose it. He embraced it. We could call Doflamingo the business type archetypes, or rather the business-minded archetypes when it comes to the evil sense, because whether we like it or not, he constructed a means of transactions which whereby it would lead to this chaos that it's formed. But in the own expense, it's the result he wanted. To be honest, not just that, but also power. He likes to be ruled and worshipped. Hence the reason why I always call his evil transactional. So if I was to really look at it in everything, he was willing to really sacrifice all he wanted. All ever person he deemed assets or liabilities to get the result he wanted. So if we look at it, he's really under the business-minded archetype because everything to him is transactional and everything he ever wants is results and power to gain into an higher level of that. So what I would say is this. He had a choice. And there were many times he could have just stopped, but he didn't. He embraced it and he wanted it. Doflamingo's personnel, as I've said, really relates with everybody in the business type sense. If you're a business person in that of the capitalist world that we live in, you could really tell how relatable Doflamingo's views and idealistic goals around it. It could be, yes, on the extreme side, we understand, but you can't tell that the man himself knows how to run a business. A very good business until someone mess it up, someone with a straw hat shell. Our second character on the list is All for One. If Doflamingo is evil based upon reason, All for One is evil based upon passion. The love of the game, I always say it. All for One, if you really look at it, was born in the world of quakes. It was one of the people, or one of the first people that actually inherit that such amount of quake. But be it as it may, he was already, since the day was being birthed, a hungry, driven maniac. This person, literally, when his mother gave birth to him, he feasted on his mother's corpse because of she literally gave birth to two, him and his younger brother. Even though his younger brother was more or less the weaker person, he feasted on his mother to have nutrients and still tried his best to keep his own younger brother alive just for having something. As in his own word, possession. In the name itself, when you look at it, All for One, meaning I would literally take everybody's thing for my own sake. The name itself justifies it. So if we really look at it and break down its characteristic, All for One is literally I want it, I must have it, I will take it. There is no you, me. That's just his own philosophy. The only point where All for One, in his psychotic mindset, had a flames of choice was with his younger brother. His humane, is more or less, I could call it his humanity, was with his younger brother. Because it was only his younger brother that he held dear to him. But it wasn't in a sense of care or love. Remember I told you, he loves possession. And his younger brother was his first possession. Even though the younger brother did show him a lot about being humane and caring and tried his best to come to the light side, if that's the word we want to use here, my brother said no, he loves the game, and he said, hell, I'm not doing that. I'm going to choose this because I want it. So if we really break it down at the end of the day, All for One is really on the psychotic part, or more or less psychopath type of evil. They love it. Even if they wanted to change, they don't. They love the thrill. They enjoy it. And that, my friends, is why I call him that particular category or archetype. Another character we have on the list is Vecna, or in his actual name, Henry Creel. This character is from the show of Stranger Things, and the reason why he's listed upon here is because of his form of evil. Now, let's give a bit of a backstory to this nigga. Alright, it first started as this. Now, Henry was, as regarded as people may know, a particular special type of individual. If you want spoilers, I mean, it's almost been a year already, but like, spoilers. He was just a normal person. Then he found a rock by a person that was already about to die. I think it was one of the physicians or thereabout that were looking or running away from that particular agency that found all this mysterious rock. Found a person and he was trying to help that person, or at least how he wanted to. The person shot at him and he, out of self-defense, but then became murder, killed the guy and took the rock. When he held that rock, the transfer of the upside down and the old gigantic spider thing more or less transfused into him and he got the powers. That's the rundown at the back street. So when he got back home, it was taken by Dr. Bernard and he was tested and regarded as subject 1, and he met, grew up a bit. He was the one who was even managing the other subjects because he took his blood and the likes. And he loved the thrill of spiders and thereof. Why am I going through all this process of breaking it down, letting you guys understand his process? He started off as just a simple kid, wanted to help a person. After the person tried to kill him, he, out of self-defense, killed that person, but they actually just killed that person completely.
Tick-tock, motherfucker!
He was taken by Dr. Bernard, then he was tested, subjected, they took his blood, gave to other people that had the eventual powers, as 11 and the others. And then eventually he lost thought of losing control. I won't say he lost control, but rather he told himself that, hey, I don't like this, and like I want to be all powerful and whatnot. And then the whole spectrum came about him. He had a chaotic view of how he viewed the world. My brother here was as powerful as anybody could be, because technically he was the first, regarding the fact that he was subject 1. He was first, and he had so much power that he could do anything. Even though that they could control him, he was always like, yeah, but like. But the time when 11 now like stopped him from him killing everybody there and thereabout, was transferred to another dimension, and that's where he met the other creature, and that's when they all collaborated. Both of them collaborated and said, okay, you know what, let us just destroy the world. And I won't say destroy the world, but like at least get rid of people that are just not special. And because of that, Vecna now decided to himself that he wanted to do that. I would say that the reason why I brought him into this list is the fact that at the end of the series, Will gave him a chance, a choice that, hey, you were just manipulated by the monster. You were manipulated by what was causing you havoc and everything. And it was trying to say that you can't stop it. And my brother said, no. No, and brother, I didn't. Actually, I actually agreed with that nigga, and I was like, yeah, I want to do the same thing with him. And he chose that. He chose that madness, that lust for what he wanted. And he became that willingly. The reason why I am saying that this is chaotic evil is the amount of mass destruction, as well as the willingness to do whatever it is to take. It's chaotic because it's literally immeasurable, because it's technically going to try and destroy or wipe away everybody. Unlike the others, like even from All for One and Doflamingo, or even from every other character that I have mentioned, his own is more of like not just destroying, but also recreating it in his own chaotic image. That's how Vecna views it. And because of that, because of the fact that he wants that sureness, that calamity of what he has experienced to be viewed in all over everywhere he sees, that shows that some people in this life, sometimes because of the scars and everything they've gone through and thereabout, they would always want every other person, or at least they would want that type of view of the world to be in that their own image. That's why you see something like worlds that are of anarchy or thereabout, just pure chaos. They enjoy that view of not orderliness and thereabout. And because of that, that's why I put him on this list. Another person on the list is Sho Tucker from the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you are an anime fan, you know that person. He is a cult classic, if I was to say. But I digress. Let me get into it. Sho Tucker is, well, how can I put it in the best scenario? I regard him as a imbalance evil. It's part of the categories I even said, because he's one of the most, let's just say, the most unpredictable type of character known in fiction history because of the actions that he did. And why I say that is that he's not an emperor. He's not a conqueror or even like a renowned villain that we could say, man, I want to destroy the world. No, 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 no. Sho Tucker is the most humane evil I could tell people in the sense of the unpredictability of human nature. Why I say that is this. He was a renowned person, one could say, in alchemy, because what he did was sewing, literally. And what that means is that his particular type of alchemy was that he brings life back from the dead, technically manipulates life itself. And he was acknowledged as the first alchemist to bring about a chimera. So because of that, he had already gotten a status in his viewpoint and how people acknowledged it. You understand? And based upon that interpretation, he has always had that high esteem post of acknowledgement. In his own sense, he's someone that has to keep up that level of prestige. And if he doesn't, he's going to just go beneath the ground like a nobody. So I think his own fear was that he didn't want that. So when the time came that I wanted to bring about another great achievement, another chimera, if it was to say, something very round and very bizarre, he was running out of time at the deadline. And because of that, he did what any human being would really look at and be like, what the fuck? Like, really, nigga? You really did that? But he did. And what was that he did that regards him as one of the people in this list? Well, I could tell you. He did. He killed his 5-year-old daughter Nina and dog Alexander and fused them together to form another form of creature to win that Nobel Prize again.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way.
I would say that, man, bro, you had many other options or choice to do something else, but wow, your daughter and dog. I mean, what did dog do? But still, though, all jokes aside, that is the actions of Sho Tucker. The reason why I relate him so much is to humankind is that every single one of us has that level of pressure. We all have it. We all have that sense of like, oh, we need to be acknowledged and thereabout. We don't want to disappoint. We don't want to have that type of look around that we are nothing. Everyone has that pressure. And in today's modern age, it gets worse than ever before. So to show you the relatability towards that is that the level at which we can take to achieve that is what Sho Tucker prescribed. And that is why I regard him as an imbalance source of evil. Oh, and one fun fact. The first chimera he actually created, that was his wife. Just to add a spirit towards the chaos he has already done. So yeah, that's what I would regard as Sho Tucker. He's an imbalanced evil. Because technically his actions were, before his wife, were just purely seen to just achieve his goals, or at least to get acknowledged. But unfortunately, Bro went to take the other dark side or the extreme approach and did the almost unspeakable action. Another character as which we're going to talk about is, well, a cult classic as well, Hannibal Lecter. If you either watch the movie or the TV series, you will know who this guy is. And well, let's just say he's one of the most sophisticated and as well as charismatic type of psychopaths there is. His evil is what I would even regard as psychotic evil as well. Hannibal was of nobility, and unfortunately, his childhood was very traumatic. Once a very proud noble, his families were, let's just say, ambushed in World War II, and his parents were killed, and his younger sister was, let's just say, killed and eaten by deserters. And unknowingly to when he was a child, he also partaked in eating his younger sister. Because of that traumatic event, it didn't fracture it, but rather it reconstructed his mindset on how he sees the world. He became a psychiatric, as is when he got older rather, he became a psychiatric, a person of impeccable taste, and he was also undetected for many years for the fact that he actually eats humans, and not just eating humans in the sense of a animal type of thing. My brother cooks Gordon Ramsay human. I mean, if you see that food, I'm telling you, you will even eat it yourself. I'm not lying on that shit. You will eat it.
That's it. Nice and hot. Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
But I digress. Let's continue. He's a person that values intellect and refinement over everything else. He loves people that are very, very smart, that have a very sharp sense of reasoning. Let's just say it like that. Or let's just say people that can be of his own level. And those that aren't, he looks at them as disposable people that don't deserve to live in this world. As he once stated to the officer, nothing happened to me. I happened. That's I did it for the love, bro. Our brother stood on business. So when he said that, look at his eyes, you could tell. But with that said, Hannibal chose this life. Even though he said it himself, he does not blame the trauma. He actually said it that he doesn't blame trauma. He didn't use the trauma as an excuse to do the action. He saw the trauma, he experienced it, and let's just say he even overcame it and he could have just continued the normal life. But he said, nope, I have a taste for the thrill of morality and I don't follow the standard of people that follow the normal moral genes. To him, he believes that he surpasses that, and that he finds that beautiful. So I could tell you that Hannibal Lecter is regarded as a psychotic evil because not only does he choose to do this, he embraces it, and he has a peculiar taste in cuisine towards it. My brother is a very good psychiatric when it comes to that. And his taste cannot be, let's just say, satisfied because of that. So yeah, that's it. His choosing is that his own means of evil is that of psychotic, and also that the fact that he chose this life. So yes, that's one. And last but not the least, I would call him the worst of the worst, the most vile creature known to man. He is not just a cult classic, he invented what a cult classic is for evil. I'm talking about Griffith. I mean, who else? It won't even be a list if he is not mentioned. I mean, technically, if you look at the hierarchy of evil people in the world, and the guy is among the top 5 or top 10, I'm not going to lie. MVP. So, let me get straight to it. Griffith is the personification of mankind type of evil. If show talker was ambition based upon being acknowledged, Griffith's own is based on dreams that you will do anything. Griffith is that person that you would look up to if you were a kid that looked up to an elder or a friend that you built an industry to. And after everything, probably if you guys had your individual wedding, it was in your wedding, it was in everything, and just maybe one day just wake up and this nigga will just for the love of his dream. That's who Griffith is. So let me break it down. So Griffith was a street boy. I mean, this boy was in the ghetto. But then this boy was dead ass broke. I'm talking, ooh, he had nothing. Nigga started from the bottom, now we hear type of person. He had nuts. And he rose to the point of literally being in that acknowledged heroism. Stop calling him a saint. He built a band called the Band of Hawks, where we had different characters. I'm not even going to mention enough, but let's just say there were a large amount of people that really looked up to him. And Griffith caught each one of them. It's not like, oh, they also came. Think of it like Luffy, like the One Piece, and how each character was gotten through their backstory and everything. And Griffith got every single person. They built relationships, deep relationships, each one of them. And Griffith, like, they kept saving, building reputations and everything. And they're like, until one day that Griffith found a person that is of his equal. He found somebody he could even consider a friend, aside from people that they look at him as admiration. He found Guts, whom is the main character of the series Berserk. I'm about to even mention that, yes, Griffith is from the series Berserk, in case if you just want to know. So, back at it. So, he made those bands and he brought Guts along, and they've saved so many people. They became like renowned individuals and everything. And they got a peak where, like, mostly all of them, they were about to just like go on their separate ways until Griffith got kidnapped and taken. And because of the relationship and the values this brother has done for each of them, Guts and every other person came to the rescue to go and save him. And my brother, do you know what he did in return? My brother did some Uno reverse and like, phew, he sold all of them, every single one of them, to achieve his dreams. Killed all of them. Raped the girl that Guts loved right in front of him. I'm talking the biggest betrayer in history. How? Oh Lord. I'm not lying. I'm talking, there's betrayal in life when it comes to that type of thing. And I know I'm talking a lot about this thing, but that to show you the sheer scar this book, when I read Berserk, it did to me to know about this character. It was that bad. But let me not go too much. Let me just say this. He did the worst thing in life, to betray the people that love, care about you, to achieve your goals and dreams. So how does that relate with this entire synopsis of what I've been talking about with the subject matter of evil relating to this? Griffith is very, I'm going to say this, similar with each one of us in terms of dreams. We all have our dreams and ambitions that we want to do as well. And he is the sole definition of what I told you in the beginning of my quote. I was like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? Either if it's precious or it could be nothing. You know something that is so funny with that quote? He could have achieved both, even if it would have been in the slow burner of nothing, because they saved him and it could have still been acknowledged and loved and favored. This guy could still have been loved if he didn't choose that. I know he wanted power. He wanted to now be the king and the ruler. But I thought because of the emotions and everything that he has gone through with each one of them, he would have chosen that. Mind you, if they didn't come and save him, he would have died. So at that point, you could say that he had a choice to have said, you know what, I love my dreams, but these dreams won't even exist right now if these guys didn't come and just save me, in the sense of allowing me to go and live another path. My brother chose the game. He chose the love for the game. He chose it. He wanted it, and he got it. With drips. With wings. Nah, that guy did some despicable evil. Speed of that shit. But as much as I despise it, it is relatable to each one of us at the end of the day, because we all have dreams. I have. You have. Everyone in this world has. That 5-year-old boy that you're looking at that is just running around, he also has dreams. The question now is, what are we willing to achieve that? And Griffith explains it, more or less shows it. So, with that said, after analyzing each one of all these characters, I could tell you very much well that human beings are very amazing creatures. That's one thing I'll tell you. We have so many things that we can display. Our unpredictability towards actions will never be extinguished. You understand? Because that's just how we humans are. We keep evolving, learning, doing things that are way out of our league to things that are just normal, simplistic things, but at the same time also doing kind, generous, amazing things and doing the most heinous, ghastly, known to mankind type of things. And everything is what makes us who we are. The only thing is the evil at which we all inherit. It's always a choice. And that, my friend, is why I would always say that the best and the most purest form of evil is the choices we make and we partake in willingly, knowingly to achieve that, or to partake in it rather. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I gotta say online. Man, this video was a lot, I ain't gonna lie. Because I really had to think deeply about each of the characters I wanted to use. And there were a lot of other characters. That's what I would say. I mean, like, I had like about 15 characters or 20 characters, but this video was incoming, like, it would have been like an hour and there. But
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
and I just wanted to just establish something, which hopefully I have made convince you guys a bit about how you look at evil. Because that's really how to make a character in fiction very relatable to humans. That choice. So thank you all for watching this video. This is the first official video that I have made aside from the other one, guys, solely construct on this particular opinion. Like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. It goes a long way. I am still looking forward to build up to like 100 followers before maybe June ending. And like I would see how I can still push to give you guys more narrative, more story-driven things of opinions of mine. And yeah, like thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video later.